Ricky, I got to tell you, when I saw that he is being eyed to star in Dune 3, he is potentially going to be playing the villain Scytale in Dune Messiah. Source is Deadline. But when I first saw this, I kind of thought, okay, best pictures back on the table for Dune Messiah. That might be crazy, but I literally thought that because, well, everyone's like, you can't outdo Dune Part 2. You can't. That was your moment. That was your chance. You messed up the release date. And now Dune Messiah, you're like, okay, finish the trilogy, give the fans what they want, the Dune diehards. But now when you have like Robert Pattinson set to play a villain in Dune Messiah, all of a sudden I am like leaning forward a little bit and I'm saying, are we really doing this? It seems like Dune Messiah is going to try and make a run now just by this one casting. Is that crazy for me to say?
I think it was already there, but it's not crazy for you to say. I completely understand it. I just was already there. And maybe that's just the Dune bias in me already or the Timmy bias in me. But I think Dune Messiah, with this news, with Robert Pattinson playing the villain, potentially, it's not confirmed yet. That's just the rumor mill, even though it's very confirmed rumors, highly reputable sources. For me, it just goes to show, like, all right, Dune Messiah, like Timmy being the anti-hero here. No, you're gonna root for Timmy in this movie, but Robert Pattinson is gonna be the Austin Butler that's gonna try to steal the show. That was what it told me, because my expectations for Dune Messiah, again, without reading the Dune books, was Timmy's going to be the villain now, but like he's the anti-hero. But now it's like, no. Even though he's kind of a villain, no, we're rooting for Timmy still, and we're going to put a guy that's on the level of Timmy, if not better, against him to say, this is the guy you want to hate, and he's going to do such a good job of it that you're really going to root for Timmy.
And you're going to get another Dune villain probably doing a weird ass voice. Austin Butler is Floyd Rotha, and Robert Pattinson is going to be doing something really weird here. It's something about also the look of Robert Pattinson. I just imagine him in Dune 3. It's I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that final scene in Tenet that's sticking out in my mind, but I just imagine him in a Dune movie, and this cast for Dune Messiah is already stacked. It seems like we did hail Dune Part 2 for having such a young, exciting cast, a mix of like old Hollywood, like new stars, old stars. Now you're going to have more, like, I would say this is not a newer star, but he's certainly established and not in the older guard yet with Pattinson. But like Anya Taylor-Joy is having a premier role in Dune Messiah. And then you have Florence Pugh with more screen time as teased by Denis Villeneuve in Dune Messiah. And then we already had, obviously, we had Austin Butler last movie. We won't have him again for this one. But then you have Timmy, and then you have Zendaya, and the names go on and on. So I think it just adds to, like, once again, Denny trying to cast younger, type of actors, established, that really will be kind of helming Hollywood for the next few decades. Where else do we want to go, Ricky Flex? I don't know much about this character, Scytale. I know that it's something. It's someone that I don't want to give away Dune Messiah, but I'm pretty sure he has he's a part in like trying to overthrow the Muad'Dib and things like that. Correct. But I was actually thinking, I don't know, I know you haven't read the story. You probably did some research. I want to hear from you, and I was thinking maybe we give Joey G, our Dune correspondent, a phone call and see what he knows.
Yeah, the only thing I am purposefully not knowing the story, so I could be surprised when I see the movie. But the little that I did see and that I want to know is that this guy, he's a face dancer. I've seen some weird images online. I'm sure in the YouTube here you're going to see it, of the potential look of this character. Looks very weird. That could go into what Robert Pattinson's been kind of playing recently. A lot of weird characters, maybe not look-wise, but accent-wise and maybe what they do. So this kind of plays into that. But overall, this is a guy where he conspires to topple the rule of Paul Atreides. That sounds like a great adversary to the end of a great trilogy. So, and I think Robert Pattinson, to kind of wrap up this trilogy of villains, right? You have Baron Harkonnen in the first one, right? You have Austin Butler in the second one with kind of Harkonnen still there, but Butler kind of takes the mantle there. And then now you have Robert Pattinson's Sidetail. That's a strong trilogy of villains, and one that I'm really pumped to see come to a conclusion in a very satisfying way.
I think also why I just see Robert Pattinson is that I did like see like this guy looks a little different, you know, from all the different depictions, whether it be like video games or from like book adaptations or comic or like I don't even know. I just seen pictures of him that are somehow online of this Sidetail character. It's just like Robert Pattinson, not unafraid to do something weird, but also he's in opposition to Timothy Chalamet. We've seen that before with The King from Netflix, you know, and that is, I would say, a polarizing performance. Post Good Time for Robert Pattinson. You seem like you're in the camp who really loving it. I like it. I like that performance, but I think that's something where people are looking to see two of Hollywood's best go at it, just like we loved seeing the one-on-one a duel between Austin Butler and Timothy Chalamet. Now we're getting Pat and Chalamet. And I was thinking about what Chalamet was talking about when he won at the Screen Actors Guild for Best Actor. And he said he wants to be one of the greats, kind of like Mamba mentality. He's going to do whatever it takes to win an Oscar. You have like that mentality. And you know who's like the opposite of that is Robert Pattinson, who is very much like, I want to work with great directors, right? My resume will keep stacking upon itself, but I'm never going to let people know how much I care. He is the exact opposite of Timothy Chalamet. And that's why it's kind of interesting when you look at Beyond the Script or Beyond Dune Messiah, is that looking at these two guys who are destined for kind of greatness right now and that seem to can't miss, but they have kind of they have different public personas, I would say. I know between these two.
I would say Robert Pattinson's more like the Leo than Timmy is, as in regards to public persona, as in he doesn't like to be in the limelight, but then again, he still does like it because he is in Dior commercials. He is in all these luxury, like super luxury brand commercials. And he is Robert Pattinson, Twilight, like he is very good looking. So I'm not saying don't do that. So all I'm trying to say is he's kind of in the middle between a Timmy and a Leo, where he is in the limelight, but he's not like going on game day. He's not going on SNL. He still has that old school 90s mentality of the A-list hero. Oh, sorry, A-list actor. Where he's still in the limelight, but he's just not in your face about it like Timmy is.
Absolutely. And he is someone that when you look at just his 2025, let's break this down. He just had a movie that came out with starring a movie from Academy Award winning director Bong Joon-ho.
His follow-up to his best picture.
So he was in Bong Joon-ho's latest movie. He also is shooting Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey for a character that is yet to have been disclosed. He then will be shooting potentially the villain and Dune Messiah. And by the way, he's fucking Batman and is going to be in the Batman Part 2 shooting later this year. So this guy is an absolute freak. He's an absolute machine. He is working at an insane pace. And he's doing projects that literally, if you like movies, you are going to go see. Nolan, Villeneuve, Bong Joon-ho, Matt Reeves, Batman, Dune, Odyssey. That's the Holy Trinity. That is the Holy Trinity, and Robert Pattinson's in the middle of all of it.
He can do IP, but he can do prestige IP. That is the perfect combination for this podcast.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why he's our favorite right now. He's our current GOAT.
He's just our guy, and I think just to take it a step further of why I even like him, I like him even more. Is yes, he does all that we just kind of discussed, but he also has 2 movies coming out here this year. Besides Mickey 17, he has the drama with Zendaya, A24 movie, and he has Die My Love with Lim Ramsey. That's going to be very dramatic, and that's with Jennifer Lawrence. Right? He has 2 dramas coming out this year. So this guy, yes, he loves the big blockbusters. He loves the IP. He loves the prestige. He loves it all, right? But he also can go into the serious dramatic acting and be one of the best, if not the best actor working today in that regard. That's why he's the best all around like taste in Hollywood, because he could do it all. He wants to do it all.
And so he kind of is kind of a unicorn in my eyes, because I even think he's like Leo, because Leo isn't as daring with his voices and taking on the characters that Pattinson does.
He's a lot safer when he picks roles. He's much more selective. Like, oh, I'm only going to work with Scorsese or Tarantino, or if this Inarritu movie where I could potentially get an Oscar, I'll do that. Like, Robert Pattinson's like, this sounds cool. I'll do that. Oh, I could be in a Dune movie with Denis Villeneuve. I'll do that. Right. Oh, wait, A24 is asking me to do this. I'll do that. Right. Like, oh, maybe Bong Joonho's asking me to play 18 different versions of the same character. I'll do that. That's where it's different. That's where it's like, wow, this guy just gets the audience, but also gets like actually how to get regarded as like one of the best working today.
Yeah, but he does have that mysterious aura that Leo does because he doesn't have social media. Robert Pattinson doesn't have social media. This is the guy who started Twilight and he's Batman. He doesn't have social media. That's craziness. That is craziness. It's kind of perfect for like the Bruce Wayne that he's playing too. That he also doesn't have social media as like an actor on the in reality in the like right in the world we live in. Yeah. So I love our Pat. I love that he's taking on this villainous role, and I did want to add a category here: a race to the Oscar between Timothée Chalamet and Robert Pattinson. Ricky, Timothée Chalamet lost to Adrian Brody this year for Best Actor. Robert Pattinson, I don't think has a Oscar nomination. If I'm right,
he never has one. He'd never had
so
one.
you have Chalamet nominated, I believe, for two acting Oscars so far in his career. None for Pattinson. You had the speech at the Screen Actor Guild from Timmy, seeing how bad he wants this. Is there a chance that RPAC gets it before Chalamet?
If you look at 2025, 2026, the better odds is with Timmy because Dune will be coming to a close at a trilogy. They could elect to give it to him for Dune, even though I doubt it. I'm just saying, because if Dune Messiah delivers and it is that cultural event similar to Dune Part 2, but even on a grander scale, that Return of the King moment, they might give it to Timmy if he doesn't have one yet, and it's a weaker year. They might do it because it's like, oh, it's superhero, but not. But I still digress with that, or I don't think so with that. Marty Supreme, I think he will be in the mix, but it might just be too weird. Ping pong player, I don't know. When it comes to Pattinson, we went over his filmography the next 2 years. I don't think he'll have a big enough part in the Odyssey to do it. I think Austin Butler didn't get Dune Part 2. I don't think Robert Pattinson, even in a bigger role, will get it for Dune Messiah. And then these dramatic roles, I think those type of movies don't really get recognized at the Oscars unless it's a significantly like amazing performance. I think you're pushing 2027 with roles that we don't even know yet.
Yeah.
And by that, I want to give the edge to Pattinson because he is older and he is in his prime. And I think he's finally figured out what he wants to do on a regular basis. Versus Timmy, he's still like on the ascendant, right? And the Oscars might not crown him yet. Clearly, they weren't ready to last month. I don't think they're ready to anoint Timmy as like, oh, he's got his Oscar, whatever. They usually wait a little longer. Pattinson, who's 38, 10 years older, in his prime, they might give one to him before Timmy.
Yeah, as Doc Holliday would say, Robert Pattinson, he's in his prime. You know, that's what he is right now. But I would also say Pattinson, I give a better chance to get an acting Oscar. I'm not saying best lead actor. He's more likely to be available in multiple categories. Timothée Chalamet does not do supporting roles. Timothée Chalamet, can you imagine him like in a supporting role in a Nolan movie? Like he was obviously Interstellar, doesn't count. But I'm saying like, could you imagine him in the Odyssey as a supporting character? Probably not. You know, like Pattinson is willing to work with great directors and take on supporting roles and be able to do his own spin, his own voice, right, on these characters. So I think it makes him more available than Timothée Chalamet is. I feel like Timmy now with the Oscars, they view him as older now. Like he's been nominated twice. He just missed out on his last Oscar. I feel like if he gets nominated again, there's a high likelihood he wins it. But when is the next time he's getting nominated? I'm gonna go with Pattinson just because he is a little bit older. It feels like he's just at the peak of his powers right now. And he works with people that are nominated all the time on widely seen projects, and he could be a lead or supporting actor. I got Pattinson.
Yeah, I think you make a great point with he just has more opportunities. He's got to have more opportunities. If you just look at their upcoming slates, like we talked about the Jennifer Lawrence movie, Zendaya movie, Batman, The Odyssey, and now this. And then he also has Primetime, which I haven't talked about, but that's 6 movies coming out in the next 12 to 18 months, the Batman bar, whatever you want to call that. So that's versus Timmy's too. like I just feel like, and you look at some of these prior Robert Pattinson performances, like Devil All the Time, that supporting role. Like imagine that now. I think that comes out now. I think that gets more regarded and maybe gets a supporting actor now. Like that's where, because like 5 years later, like where was Pattinson 5 years ago? Someone where for us, he was at like we thought we knew his game, but not everybody knew his game. Now everybody knows, and the Academy is going to start recognizing that. I think he does more of that stuff now on top of the leading performances. I think people are going to start respecting him more, and he's going to get more nominations. And then one of these times, he's going to get a win, whether it's lead or supporting.
Now everyone's familiar with his game. I'll get the lingo correct for us.